Calling all units, calling all units. Donut shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
You're now sheriff. How would you go about, mitigating that, getting rid of these street takeovers and trying to prevent these things from happening?
Right. Well, so first of all, I think a lot of those street takeovers, first of all, let's go back. How dangerous is that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say it's a public safety issue?
Yeah.
Now
Absolutely.
that they're actually shooting, they're throwing fireworks, they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. How many videos have you seen where people within the same groups are getting hit by the car as it's doing the donut?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So we agree that it's super dangerous, but it's also a lot of those can be predicted because they're going around on social media.
Yes.
So we have to do, I think, a better job. And I'm not saying it's not being done. I'm just saying that we have to really make that a priority because it's becoming more and more common, right? And when we do find out that they're happening, we got to be more strategic on how we handle that. I'm going to give you a quick example. Years ago, I think it was during the 2016, riots and things that were happening. I was the captain in Northside, and we knew that within this park there was going to be some demonstrations. But we knew that, like in every other demonstration, it's totally legit. People are allowed to do it. In fact, we welcome it. We gave them the area to do it. But you know that there's the people that are come in and destroy the whole thing.
instigators. They're gonna.
Right?
Yeah.
So back then, I gave a little speech or a briefing to our guys, and that was what we were going to do is we were going to open the area. We're going to have officers all over the place, and we were going to let them demonstrate. But the moment it got crazy, we were going to give everybody an evacuation warning, and we were going to let everybody leave. Everybody who wants to leave, go ahead and leave. But there's going to be a point where now they're no longer allowed to leave.
Yeah.
Kind of like, remember the movie?
Now you just can't leave.
Now you can't leave.
Yeah.
And I used that
Sunny.
analogy. I
Yeah.
said, kind of like in the bar, first we want you to leave. Now you can't leave.
That's Bronx Tale.
Right.
And Sonny tells them to the bikers that were messing up the bar, now you just can't leave.
Right.
Just, I'm a big fan of Bronx Tale. One of my favorite movies.
Exactly.
Continue, sir.
So I think in these street takeover things, what we got to do is we got to make it unacceptable to even be there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what we got to do is we got to lock them up. And I don't mean lock them up in handcuffs. I mean literally lock them up, and everybody who is there has to be a lot more cars towed. There has to be, if there's walkers that are just filming, we'll arrest them for being in traffic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And make it something where there's consequences to the actions. Because right now, what do? They go, we make 3 or 4 arrests, but everybody else that was there to that shared it on social media and basically occupied the entire street is walking away.
Yeah.
We need to make it something where everyone that's there partaking in it suffers from some kind of consequence, whether it's citation.
And Florida's getting on the page with that because Florida, there's Florida law now where it's a felony to be a spectator.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a felony to be a spectator and involved in it. The takeover. If your car's involved in it, you're getting a 30-day impound. It's not like a reckless driving charge where your car's just getting impounded overnight. And it's a 30-day impound, and you have to pay the storage fees at the actual facility that's towing your car.
And that's what needs to happen.
So these people are really getting hit in the pocket with what they're doing, and then they're getting those felony charges that
But
it's a matter of catching them.
The thing is, are they? It's there now. The resource for a law enforcement officer is having a law to enforce, and now the laws are made. So the question is, how do we go about, or how would you go about? And you were saying that we start enforcing those laws.
Right. Yeah, we have to enforce it, but we go back to what I said before: is we have to reprioritize the structure of the department and the assignments in the department. We have a lot of specialized units. We like to call them the acronym units that are running around, and they're not really set up in a way that we're getting a lot of use from them. Right.
Yeah.
We're not getting a lot of juice from a lot of those.
Well, the idea is there, and it's a good idea, but the execution might not be there.
Right, and that's my point. It's a well-intentioned program, but I always say we got to measure twice and cut once, right? And sometimes measuring twice means put the unit out, but there's got to be parameters by which you're going to measure the success of that unit, right? And I think that's where historically in law enforcement we failed.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you kind of learn in the private sector, right? You put something out, you look at it, and then you find a way to tap it into place, but you got to be constantly evaluating its success. And I think the same goes for assignments and developing new units. You have a new idea, you have a concept, let's try it. We'll try it, but if you're not getting the juice from the squeeze that you gave it, then we gotta adjust it. And so
some people can say that it's just traffic, you know.
yeah, but it's not. Think about the people are getting shot. Now they're shooting at cops. You know, you have guys that
Shooting
are halfway.
fireworks, yeah.
Right. You have guys that are halfway in and out of the car with ARs shooting up in the air.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And you got guys that while they're doing donuts, they're hitting their own people.
Yeah.
Running them over, and they leave. You know, they leave those guys on the ground. So it's got to be something where there's like I said, there's repercussions for even being there.
Yeah.
Because you know, the fact that it's pulling in and drawing spectators is the problem. If nobody were there to witness it, they wouldn't be doing it.
No.
You see what I mean?
And then they're promoting it on social media. So
They are.
I would just add to what you were saying is that it started with street takeovers, and then it's like, hey, let's shoot fireworks because we're getting away with these street takeovers. Of
course.
Hey, let's shoot a gun.
Right.
You know. So and then now I don't know if it's there on social media to see. There has been incidents where officers arrive and they'll shoot a firework, which is a mortar shell. At the officer,
Directly at the officer, right.
And the officer, there was one incident where he was trying to effect an arrest. They shot a mortar shell. He was like, "Oh my god!" And the guy got away. He ended up scrambling and getting away because he just got something just exploded right near him.
Right.
So it is getting more dangerous. An officer's getting out of his car, kick the door of the officer, because I don't think that the consequences are being. It's something that the public is perceiving as this is lawlessness.
Right.
And there's yes, murders have to be addressed, robberies, burglaries, things have to be addressed, but the perception is that what society are we living in right now that these people can just take over an intersection? Exactly. So as sheriff, I'm hoping that we come and we set a precedence where we're like, hey, by the way, this would be something great to put on social media.
Right.
They're on social media. Let's tap into there. I would love to do an operation with a department out there, and it's like it should be. Again, you're the sheriff, but in my thoughts, there's like definitely multi-agency task force put together because FHP is affected by these jokers as well. They're out there doing donuts on the highway, stopping highway. Multi-agency task force, and I
mean,
think
it's big stuff because a lot of times agencies got to use air, so you got to have air set up ready to go to
I would
video is we have in Miami-Dade we have a lot of resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And we have a lot of staff, but we just have to, like I said, we have to realign and kind of target those type of scenarios because we do have the resources to deal with it, right? But there's got to be repercussions. You know, it's like little kids. You know, the little kid will look at you, they'll do one thing, and if they get away with it, what do? They do it a second time and do it more drastic, right? And they continue on. We've allowed those things to continue on, and you know, through this whole anti-police idea. There's a lot of officers that are more hesitant to write a ticket, just get out of here, that kind of thing. So what happens is they become more brazen, and that's where we're at. To where now they're shooting fireworks at cops because nothing happened to them before.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. So I hope you get some of them little street racers. And you know what? The street racing has been around for a long time. Right. And they do it in the back Okeechobee, and they do it at night or whatever. This is something now that's more brazen. Like we're in the middle of the intersection, and there's nothing you could do about it. So.
And I think another danger to that, think about it, is there's crowd dynamics involved. Anywhere where there's large crowds of people that are all hyped up and yelling and doing all that stuff, it leads to other things. Yeah. Now these kids are armed. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So I did better donuts. No, you know, and now there's an altercation, and there's a lot of people surrounding them. You know what I mean? So it's always dangerous when you have dynamic like that where the crowd is getting rowdier. They totally disrespect the police. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Calling all units. Donut shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.